I'm Dick Bailey, and I'm 89, going on 17.
So, why is it that you ride a bicycle?
Why do I ride a bicycle? I don't know. Because I like it, that's why. But lately it doesn't like me. Well, it beats any other way to get around, I'll tell you that. It's just, I enjoy it. That's all I can say. I have since I was a little boy. Of course, we didn't have anything else to get around on in those days, but that's where I started riding. And I've just kept at it. Well, I can't even estimate how many miles I did as a kid because we all had bikes because we had no gasoline. And my brother and I each had a Monkey Ward bike with a 2-speed shift, and we used it for all the errands. And we lived in the east, so there was snow in the winter, but during the war, we all rode bikes, even my mother, who had never ridden as a child. And my father rode a bike that my brother and I made before my brother left for the service. A long hike for us on those balloon tires was perhaps 28 to 30 miles if we had a recreational ride. But otherwise, we loaded them up with baskets and went shopping and did everything with bikes.
How many years have you been riding?
Um, Probably too many. I was 6 when I got my first two-wheeler, so 80, 82 years. It's about how long you've been riding. You were a little boy when we bought your first bike. It was a Raleigh Stingray, as I recall.
I remember crashing it in near Georgetown.
All we remember are crashes. Yes. We don't remember the good times as well as we remember the crashes.
I've had a lifetime of wonderful riding, so thank you.
It has been fun. It has been. Jack and I made our first bikes out of scrap parts, so that we had bikes during the war. We bought each, Ken and Jenny both, Raleigh bikes, and well, we rode them on our seat on our bikes for a while, and then we got them bikes. And we had 4 bikes in the family, and we took them everywhere and rode the primitive bike trails of that era. And then I commuted for 15 years, 30 miles round trip between our home and Norgren. And in here, the one we remember most was 60,000 miles on our tandem before we quit riding that. And now my half bike is somewhere around 34,000 or something like that. I just like to ride a bike and always have, and will as long as I possibly can.
How many total miles do you think you've ridden?
I never tried to add it up. Easily a couple 100,000.
How many centuries have you done?
Oh, I have to go count my t-shirts. Oh, probably 20. I did my first century ride in Denver, and I'd never done 100 miles in one sitting before, and that became an annual thing to do. I used to do a century ride on Sunday morning and come home and go to a Bronco game. So things have changed. I'm not that kind of a rider anymore.
How far do you want to ride today?
Not that far. No fair. Come on.
Come. Now, how far do you usually ride?
12 miles. Check my odometer. Here it is. Lied again. Should have been twice that.
How many miles did you go?
9.8. So that's low. We usually do 12 and a half or 13, but not today. Good old bike. Do you know that this bike odometer and the odometer on the Cadillac used to run neck and neck, month after month after month. The pandemic hit, we don't drive the Cadillac, and this odometer is now at 34,700, and the Cadillac hasn't even gotten to 30,000 yet. So I don't think we'll ever get the Cadillac to catch up with the bike. How about that? That's pretty neat when you're 90, huh? But I have a very sophisticated electronic record of daily rides. So, just in case my odometer fails me, I always have a piece of paper to go with it. The years that you and I rode across Colorado together are the highlight, really, of my mountain riding experience. I had a brain bleed the year Ken graduated from college and was prohibited from riding at high altitude, above Denver, because they didn't know what I did, what caused it, or anything about it. But a few years later, Ken was kind enough to come home and ride shotgun for me, and he and I rode across Colorado with the Ride the Rockies, the very first one. And it was a tear-jerking experience for me to be at the top of a mountain again on a bicycle and realize that I had done it without repeating the brain bleed, that we never knew what the cause was, because I didn't have any idea whether I could make it or not. I had never tried it. And I did make it. So that was a highlight, big highlight. Both the fact that Ken was with me and we were able to do it. We did it a couple more together when Ken had time, and we had a good time at it. So those were highlights. There are many others. I enjoy bike riding, even when when Carl and I rode tandem from Memphis to New Orleans on a tour emphasizing the blues. We hit a very rainy spring going along the Mississippi, and it was cold and it was rainy, and we rode through Angola prison on our way down. And one of the guys said, riding a bike in the rain is better than any day at Angola. And we thought that was right. We had a good time. And we went to New Zealand, spent 3 weeks riding the South Island, which was really the highlight of our whole tandem experience. Spent a couple weeks riding across southern France and did the big island of Hawaii for Thanksgiving one year. We had fun. We bought a minivan so we could carry the tandem inside, and we rode many, many places in the United States, particularly the railroad grades that are being made just for walkers and bicycles. We found them to be very enjoyable, even though they're relatively flat. The grades are never steep, but they are fun. And we saw an awful lot of the United States from the old railroad grades. I still ride a bike, but Carla developed a neck problem and had to stop. So tandem is gone. Somebody else is enjoying it now, and I'm enjoying my half bike. Do I remember any crashes? I have crashed every way possible. So commuting was my worst. Luckily, it never involved another vehicle. But the ice in Denver would catch me once in a while, and I'd go down pretty hard. And one time I was clotheslined by a telephone wire that ripped loose in the Chinook wind the night before from the poles that were along the bike trail. I didn't see it at night. My light went under it, and I got clotheslined, and that was about the worst. But nothing serious. My knees were always my problem. I injured them in high school. So I had knees replaced when I was 80, and it's a world of difference. I don't have any pain, and I can ride when it's cold without causing damage. And I should have done it earlier, but technology wasn't there when I injured them. I was told I could have stiff knees if they did surgery. So I declined to do anything and lived with it. And since I've had my knees replaced, knee pain is a thing of the past, really. I don't know how long this is supposed to last, but I put an awful lot of miles on these knees, I'll tell you. They never replaced my brain.